Welcome to the Human 5.0 Project, the podcast where we cut straight to the breakthroughs that matter, the show where science meets self-optimization. I'm your host, Ultimate Biohacker 10X, and here we break down the real research, real data, and real dosing behind modern biohacking, from compounds and peptides to techniques, devices, lifestyle strategies, and performance protocols. Most people jump in and jump out before they get the gold, so we're keeping it tight and delivering the essential insights you need without the fluff. If you've taken the time to hit play, we'll make sure you walk away with valuable knowledge that can transform your approach to longevity, health optimization, and beyond. You're standing in the baby food aisle. It's lit with that warm, soft glow. You see the cute cartoon animals on the pouches, the proud organic labels on the jars, the smiling babies on the snack packets. You pick up a teething wafer, a pouch of sweet potato and apple, and a bag of puffs. And you feel a little pang of relief. You're feeding your baby well, and you're a good parent. But what if I told you that the very system designed to nourish your little one is, for the most part, quietly feeding them a diet of industrial additives? A landmark new study just dropped, and it found that 71% of the baby foods lining those shelves are ultra-processed. Not just the chips and cookies, the baby food. Today we are tearing open that study. We're going to look at what the ultra-processed really means for a developing infant, and then, most importantly, we're going to arm you with the knowledge to navigate that aisle with total confidence, without the guilt, and without the stress. I'm Ultimate Biohacker 10X, and this is the Motherlode from the Human 5.0 Project. Let's lock this one in. So what does the data actually say? This isn't a random blog post. This is a peer-reviewed study published just this week in the Journal of Nutrients. It was led by Dr. Elizabeth Dunford and her team at the George Institute for Global Health, the same brilliant minds behind the FoodSwitch app that helps millions decode food labels. They walked into the 4 biggest U.S. grocery chains, Walmart, Kroger, Target, and the rest, and they analyzed every single infant and toddler food product on the shelves. That's 651 products marketed for babies and toddlers aged 6 to 36 months. Jars, pouches, cereals, snacks, the whole aisle. They use the NOVA classification system, the global gold standard for measuring how much food has been processed. And the headline number is 71% of these products are ultra-processed, Group 4. But let's get into the details because they're even more eye-opening. The additives paradox. In 71% of the products, the very first ingredient on the label, the one there is the most by weight, wasn't fruit or vegetables, it was an additive. Across all 651 products, they found 105 different additives. The most common? Flavor enhancers, 36%, thickeners, 29%, emulsifiers, 19%, and colors, 19%. Let's look at the sugar and salt trap. Ultra-processed versions had nearly double the sugar, 14 grams per 100 grams, versus 7.3 grams in the minimally processed options. Snacks were the worst, 2.5 times more sugar. Sodium was also higher, 70 milligrams versus 41 milligrams per 100 grams. For a baby's tiny kidneys, that's a meaningful load. Category breakdown. This was not spread evenly. Dry cereals and starches, 100% ultra-processed. Snack-size packages, 94%. Pouches, 73%. Even the ones with pictures of kale and quinoa on the front. And here's the lead researcher herself. Quote, "Infancy is a critical time for shaping lifelong eating habits. Introducing babies to foods that are overly sweet, salty, and packed with additives can set the stage for unhealthy preferences that last beyond childhood. It's not just about what they eat today, but the relationship with the food we are building for them." I couldn't have said it any better. So why does this hit different for a 9-month-old than it would for a 19-year-old? Because babies are not just tiny adults, their bodies are still under construction. Their digestive systems and microbiomes are immature. Think of a baby's gut like a brand new, pristine garden. You want to plant good seeds, fiber, prebiotics from real foods, vegetables. But many of the emulsifiers and thickeners in these ultra-processed foods can act like a harsh chemical spray on that garden. They can disrupt the delicate balance of good bacteria, potentially leading to inflammation and affecting immune system development. Then there's flavor training. We are hardwired to love sweet and salty. It's survival. But when you constantly expose a baby to hyper-sweetened fruit concentrates and salty snacks, you're cranking up the dial on their taste preferences. Plain steamed broccoli or unsweetened yogurt suddenly taste bland. You're programming them to expect the intense flavors of processed food. This specific study doesn't follow babies for 20 years, but it lines up perfectly with a huge and growing body of research on ultra-processed foods in older children and adults. Higher risk of childhood obesity, elevated cholesterol, metabolic disorders, and cardiovascular issues later in life. Let me pause here, because I know the anxiety can creep in. This study does not say all baby food is bad. The authors themselves, they're very clear. The onus is on the industry to reformulate products and on regulators to demand better labeling. Our job as parents is simply to be informed. So let's get practical. Here are the 4 concrete things you can do, starting with your very next grocery run. Number 1, become a back-of-the-box detective. The front of the package is marketing. Flip it over. Golden rule, can you recognize most of the ingredients? If the list is long, full of gums, modified starches, natural flavors, or oils you don't keep in your own kitchen, or things you can't pronounce, put it back. Look for single ingredient options whenever possible. Just organic pears, carrots, spinach, chickpeas. Then there's the pouch strategy. Use them, don't abuse them. Because pouches are a modern miracle for travel, sick days, or whenever you need 5 minutes of quiet. They're not the enemy, but they shouldn't be the foundation of your baby's diet. 73% of them are ultra-processed. They often mask vegetable flavors and rob babies of learning different textures. Use them as a tool, not a default. When you do buy them, choose the ones with the shortest ingredient list, ideally just 1 or 2 real foods. Next, let's embrace the 5-minute homemade hack. You don't need a fancy baby food maker. You truly don't. Steam extra carrots when you're making dinner and mash them with a fork. Half an avocado mashed with a little breast milk or formula. A very ripe banana mashed with full-fat plain yogurt. Deconstruct a dinner. How about softened steamed sweet potato wedges, shredded roast chicken, and a few peas? The brand new 2025 to 2030 U.S. Dietary Guidelines for Americans, for the first time, give specific advice for infants and toddlers, and they explicitly recommend limiting highly processed foods and prioritizing nutrient-dense whole food options. So let's bring it all home. 71% of baby food on the U.S. shelves is ultra-processed. That's the system we're in. It's not a personal failing if your pantry has some of these products. The goal is not perfection. The goal is awareness. One small swap this week, maybe switching one snack pouch for a homemade fruit mash, maybe just reading the label on one product and choosing a simpler version. And that's a win. And because I know the number one question you're going to ask is, okay, but which pouches are actually safe? We're dedicating the entire next episode to it. We'll break down the best brands, share more super simple 5-minute homemade recipes, and give you a printable grocery store cheat sheet. We'll put in the full study, the Georgia Institute press release, and the People.com article in the show notes. For now, stay informed, stay curious, and stay natural. This has been the Motherlode from the Human 5.0 Project, and I'm the Ultimate Biohacker 10X. We'll talk soon. I'm out. Thanks for listening to the Human 5.0 Project. If you found value in today's episode, share it with someone who's ready to elevate their biology. Make sure to follow the show for weekly deep dives into peptides, protocols, devices, lifestyle strategies, and the science of high-performance longevity. Until next time, stay curious, stay optimized, and stay 10X.